Today, I want to talk about a strategic action plan to neutralize Musk and Trump's authoritarian influence. The objective here is to implement a nonviolent, coordinated resistance against Elon Musk and Donald Trump's efforts to consolidate power and undermine democracy by leveraging economic pressure, mass mobilization, and informational counter strategies to neutralize their influence. This might be a long video, so just bear with me. It's got a lot of information, and I'm going to talk as fast as I can. Almost as fast as I can, because I can talk pretty goddamn fast sometimes. First thing we're going to do is economic warfare, strangling their revenue streams. We got to target Musk's financial empire. How we do that? Boycott Tesla, X, Twitter, SpaceX, Starlink, and all other Musk-controlled companies. Pressure advertisers. Organize a mass movement to get brands to withdraw ad dollars from X and Tesla. Disrupt Tesla sales. Encourage labor actions, legal scrutiny, and financial instability. Short Tesla stock. Coordinate market actions that destabilize Tesla's overinflated valuation. Expose financial ties. Investigate which banks and investment funds back Musk, then pressure them to divest. Target Trump's financial base. Defund MAGA. Boycott Trump-owned businesses and brands that support him. Any businesses out there that are MAGA, don't support them. Expose corporate enablers. Publicize corporation funding his campaigns and force accountability. Disrupt conservative media advertising. Pressure major advertisers to withdraw from Trump-aligned media like Fox News, Newsmax, and on. Legal actions. We need to push for lawsuits against fraudulent financial practices tied to the Trump organization. And of course, all the crap that Musk is doing within the federal government right now. 2, mass mobilization. We need strikes, protests, and economic disruption. First thing we got to do is general strikes and economic shutdowns. Nationwide strike days. Organize coordinated work stoppages in key industries. Union engagement. Work with unions to leverage labor power against Musk and Trump's corporate backers. Consumer spending freezes. Designate days where mass spending halts to impact markets. Strategic disruption of MAGA power centers. Target protests, large-scale demonstrations at Trump properties, Tesla factories, and SpaceX launch sites. Blockade events. Peacefully disrupt rallies and conferences that promote their agenda. Expose GOP corruption, grassroots movements to target vulnerable politicians, enabling them. Recruiting. Third thing we need to do is recruiting powerful allies, building an anti-coup coalition. Engage Democratic billionaires and industry leaders. Fund the resistance. Encourage wealthy individuals like Soros, Powell, Jobs, Stiers, those kind of people, to bankroll media campaigns and legal fights. Corporate counterbalance. Push companies like Google, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft to publicly oppose Musk and Trump's agendas. Create alternative platforms. Develop social media and economic ecosystems independent of Musk and Trump's control. Leverage Hollywood culture and entertainment. High-profile opposition. Use influential actors, musicians, and athletes to shape public opinion. Boycott Trump and Musk affiliates. Call for entertainment and tech industries to sever ties with them. Media production. Fund documentaries and investigative reporting exposing their influence and corruption. 4, information warfare. Countering disinformation and control. Flood their platforms with truth. Disrupt X by organizing mass postings of factual counter-narratives to drown out propaganda. Deplatform and report misinformation. Use reporting systems on social media to remove false narratives. Amplify independent media. Support investigative journalists exposing their corruption. NPR and PBS are 2 great ones to think about. Build alternative news and communication networks. Independent journalism networks. Fund organizations like ProPublica, The Intercept, and other investigative media. Locate local news takeover. Support community-driven journalism to combat MAGA propaganda at the grassroots level. Encrypted communication and coordination. Use decentralized platforms like Mastodon, Signal, and Matrix to bypass Musk-controlled networks. Fifth on the strategic plan is resilience and contingency planning, preparing for the long game. All right, folks. We've got to establish underground organizing networks, secure digital communications, ensure safe encrypted coordination channels, regional resistance hubs, organize local groups with self-sustaining leadership structures. Next, we got to build economic and political independence, alternative banking and financial systems, avoid banks supporting Musk and Trump, encourage credit unions and ethical banks, food and resource security, strengthen local food networks, self-sustaining communities, and supply chain resilience. Next, we got to prepare for government and legal retaliation. Legal defense funds, protect activists and whistleblowers from legal attacks. Asylum and safe haven networks, establish exit strategies for those targeted by political persecution. Just think about all the old shows that you've watched dealing with the German Nazis, and you'll understand where I'm going with this strategic plan. 6, implementation framework and next steps. We need to organize action committees, national coordination teams overseeing strategic alignment and messaging, economic disruption task force. We need a task force to execute financial actions against Musk and Trump's enterprises. Mass mobilization committee. We need a committee to organize strikes, protests, and civil resistance efforts. Information warfare unit. We need a unit for combating disinformation and amplifying the independent media. Recruitment and outreach teams. Engage allies, funders, and influential figures. Next, we need a tactical rollout timeline. Phase 1, immediate digital campaign to recruit and mobilize support. Phase 2, economic pressure initiatives, media exposure, and grassroots activism. Phase 3, full-scale protest, corporate pressure, and policy influence efforts. And then phase 4, sustained counteraction to prevent authoritarian entrenchment. What's the long-term vision? Strengthen democratic infrastructure. We need to build permanent systems to prevent future authoritarian threats. And the first thing I can think of is no lifetime seats in the Supreme Court. That would be great. No more than 2 terms in the Senate and the House, and maybe even only 1 term as a president instead of this 2-term thing. But that would be some of the things that we need to look at for a system to prevent future authoritarian threats. Next, we need to develop independent economic and media power, create lasting alternatives to Musk and Trump's influence networks, and then finally, ensure global collaboration. We need to start partnering with pro-democracy movements worldwide for sustained resistance. Canada, we love you. Trust me, most of us. Conclusion, relentless, strategic, nonviolent resistance. This fight requires a multi-pronged approach that is coordinated, persistent, and disruptive. We must weaponize economics, mass action, information warfare, and strategic alliances to neutralize Musk and Trump's authoritarian control. We must act now before they consolidate irreversible power. Let me say that again. We must act now before they consolidate irreversible power. Okay, so what's our next steps? Assemble working groups to focus on each pillar of this strategy. Identify key targets and organizing leaders for economic actions and mobilization. Launch initial protests and disruptions to test responses and build momentum. And then expand digital and grassroots outreach to recruit mass participation. This is not a passive fight, folks. It is an active resistance. Let's move forward. That's been the Guardian Files. Bye.